the middle ayah later on, but about the last ayah, one thing for now. Commonly, the last ayah of Surah Al-Asr is understood as having 4 components. Of course, it's very easy to see that. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, number 1, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, number 2, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, number 3, and وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, number 4. 4 conditions. The first condition being those who believe, those who act righteously or do righteous deeds. The third being they enjoin to the best of their ability and to counsel one another with truth, and then also doing the same with perseverance. These are the 4 conditions that are mentioned. But one of the things we're going to learn today as part of the overview is that these 4 things are actually one thing. They seem like they are 4 things, but they are lazim wa malzoom. They are necessarily connected to each other. They are actually inseparable. And actually all of the rest is the fruit of the first. Iman. The first thing that's mentioned is Iman. And then there are 3 other things mentioned. But what we're going to learn is if one really has Iman, then the next 3 things are naturally bound to happen. They are bound to happen. And if those things don't happen, guess what's missing? Iman. So if one wants to check if they really have Iman or not, they can check by the minimal standard of Iman set by Surah Al-Asr. What are the consequences of Iman? What happens right after Iman? عَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ تَوَاصِي بِالْحَقِّ تَوَاصِي بِالصَّبْرِ. If those things aren't happening, then there's something missing in Iman. And by the way, all of these 4 are connected in a profound way. Even if you take the second case, عَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. What is after وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ? They act righteously. They enjoin the truth. They don't keep the good to themselves. Now they're enjoying the truth. I'm using the cliche translation. The idea of it is to get the truth to others. Tell others to do good too. In other words, if you are truly doing good, it is impossible for you to keep it to yourself. It's impossible. A necessary consequence of that will be you will have to share it with others. That is part of goodness. And then when you do enjoin the truth to others, you will get people that respond to you, and you will get people who hate what you have to say. And when you get people who hate what you have to say, you will necessarily need to develop what? Sabr. You're going to have it. It's a necessary, these are all connected things. One leads to the other, to the other, to the other. And we'll explore more of that as we continue, inshallah ta'ala. This is actually why this surah opens up in most explicit detail these fruits of Iman that usually in the Qur'an are mentioned in 1 or 2 terms. Sometimes Allah says, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. That's enough. Because really the rest is what? Fruits of Iman. Right? So if you understand Iman properly, then the rest is understood. Sometimes He elaborates it a little more and says, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. He'll say 2 things. But in this surah, He doesn't say 2 things, He says 4 things. And if you notice, the last 2 things, tawasi bil haqq and tawasi bil sabr, are actually deeds in and of themselves. They are deeds. And so, amilu salihat is a deed, amal. And tawasi bil haqq and tawasi bil sabr are also a'mal, amalain. They're both actions too. In other words, what we're learning here is Allah highlighted the 2 actions. This is what I mentioned last time also. Allah is highlighting the 2 actions that get overlooked by people when they think about good deeds. The actions that they don't tend to think about when they think about doing good deeds are the ones that are explicitly highlighted, so we understand this is the bare minimum of good deeds that you need to accomplish. That is tawasi bil haqq and tawasi bil sabr included in the discussion. Now, I want to share with you a scenario. And I really benefited from this scenario.